Okay, I'm live. I just wanted to say I just now found comments. I never had any kind of training except for watching my son play video games on the computer. So I just can't wait to get in and start really interacting with the comments. It's just what it's all about. Thank you so much. Um, well, today, I was sharing with a friend who is very, very steadfast in his beliefs, and he began to see some of the explanations that I shared. Back to the beauty and or bottom and beauty, and the medical signals that will be aimed at our head and neck as Atlas and our trunk as Susie, the super symmetrical, and the LEP LEDs in especially down to the bone in the hip where the bone marrow is cancer treatment and that sort of thing. There's also a movement under that as the social lock stepping program for FEMA. An interesting thing, I had walked to the doctor's office, and thank God I'm finished with it, but it means I don't have a penny, and don't know where that'll lead me. About $25 a week. It's about the most I can even stand to do. And that's if I really kindly let my own hygiene and things I need to do. I had you probably don't know me, but I had a 30-foot fall. And everybody has to do their part, and that's finding out the checks came out, not only mine, but after I thought so, yeah, that you're giving backward consent to take the check into the vaccine program. And some people have even found out, oh well, suddenly they haven't even drawn the first dime, and yet they made a mistake and sent you checks, and your retirement program, you owe them, and in order to pay them back, you're also involved. And this is sort of thing that I studied in school of Escape from Red China, how they do. And the last is the individual's personal business. They would come in, strap you to a chair, and say, now confess that you embezzled money. You're not getting away scot-free. So we're in that funny communism. But on my walk to this last appointment with my doctor in the rain and wet as a dish rag, and letting them know this was my last walk. I don't have the resources to keep up. There's no possible way that I had enough money to qualify and jump through the hoops for disability in the first place. But it's a social mechanism. Uh, the uh, the descriptions of an idol that you get, it's just a confusion. And I love it. If you haven't ever looked at Mud Fossil University, do so. Wonderful, wonderful guy. Think of him if you watch it and play Mama Told Me There'd Be Days Like This. Um, my response, actually, before that I saw that sign, we had watched, I don't know if he did or not, but I was listening to a channel where Mukio, whatever, one of the top Chinese looking scientists that's usually on the alien stuff. Sweet guy, you gotta love him, but he's had a face on TV, but he is the voice. And these top scientists will tell you, well, they did meet someone from the other dimension. No, they didn't. What they met was this old idea since the ancient of days, this 3.3 volt, 666 megahertz ability to cross a beam in your head. Same thing Facebook is doing, same thing that the people who programmed those ideas for this virtual reality to perceptually mine words that flash through your head, to brain map your brain, and actually down now to words and letters, so that you can respond in the same way they did to and what we have. Okay, I want to sit straight from the biblical perspective is the value of the nettle and the prickly and the thorn and the cost of sin and the taxation that goes with that. When you are a problem for your community, you do owe them something back. And this is out of hand. And it always gets out of hand, and it's a tyrant, and it begins to be, well, you disagreed with me, and we have different politics, so now I am going to go through your taxes, which is something in my case that applied, as my neighbor and older friend moved into the IRS. And the first thing that happened when she did, conservatives got targeted for the IRS reviews. So, but in my case, I'm finding exactly that, exactly that. As this moves lockstep program and FEMA into the cities, really weird thing that I passed on the way to the doctor. Walked by an insurance agency. You could look it up if you'd like. Tried to share it. I'm not really good at doing that online yet, but I had run across the image before, and I noticed. I looked at that's when at first I had the door open and they were moving around, and half the building empty. And so I looked at the end that had an occupancy with a screen sign, stuck to the window to see. And I noticed this was an emblem I had seen before in my prophecy studies. And it's a little circle with two men, and it's really simple. Red, white, and blue on the outside, and shadows of two men walking, couple trees in the back. London Insurance Agency, Insurance Services Center. Okay, and down there on Kentucky Street, it's Insurance Services Agency. And by going through that address, I looked up, but I looked at this image, and you have two men walking and pine trees in the back. And the one out front looks like a soldier's silhouette. And on his back is this big square box with these hoses coming out, and something that's not a gun that has two holes like a fog machine. Okay. You find this historically, these clouds that come with plagues and men dressed in black like death. Okay. So it's an idol. It's an idol. And confusion they hide behind. And so here this man, this soldier silhouette is, and this funny silhouette beside him that's a little bit too lanky and a little bit too monkey looking in the face, and an obvious silhouette of a mask with his hand on that backpack. And his color merges into the tree, which is the tree that was of good and evil, and commonly that bad thing that got us in this cursed reality. And this whole belief in the races and the shapeshifters merging with men. So I come home and I look up this symbol, and it traces to the London Insurance Agency. And I looked up there, just typed in logo behind it and blew it up. And yeah, no, their logo is actually supposed to be a backpack. And this guy behind him is just wearing short pants like a hiker. And it's not the same thing. So, you have covered agencies, and we've had CIA and things like that in the agricultural department for a long time. But if you live in Corbin, drive by Kentucky Street and look at their before you get to the church on the right, just a little gold brick building. But that was fun to look up. I had seen that before. It almost looks like a partially human in the back and a soldier up front with his fog machine. Fun stuff. Well, not really, but yeah, you need to know. He told us all things. And if you just keep rejecting being so smart to figure it out, and you keep on looking up these definitions, you find out the confusion of faces. And I confuse my face with yours. And the first thing I do is blame you. It gets a little more complicated. And if you could cross this perceptual mining of your thoughts with this sort of wormhole particle technology going on, crossing the beams in the ghost plane, and things pop up. Your imagination could lead you, and what they'll want to do is to name these sensations, that these particle beams, that this civic law and order, which is run by rumor. They start a rumor, and you're going to be policed by investigation, by being your brain pumped to see if there's any more dirt they can come up with just because they don't like you. And come to find out, yeah, there's a whole bunch of women that really didn't like me. And here I am. And that's okay. That's okay because I believe what he told me. And we are definitely in this crisis management global network, and they will go digital. Our food table is broken. Everything the Bible says will happen. The animals can't stand. It's like sonic reality. They can't tolerate this. And the desert making of Israel in that affliction for choosing an idol and an image in a system and a day and things you have to do. Well, that's not what God wanted for even then. And it was perfect imagery for us to learn by. But that is what's going on. And I just wanted to say thank you for your comments. And I'm going to try to learn how to use this so that I can tell you all how much I love you, how much he loves you, and how significant you are. And hopefully, hopefully we'll end up passing one another. The Bible does say that as this stuff goes on, when it gets really bad, that we'll walk and maybe pass each other in a field, and just because of the type of person you meet, you will know why he had to do this. Some people's pride just drink up destruction with their faces, and you probably don't deserve a kid or a dog or anything else. And they're the one in charge of charity, and a rumor can be started, and they know all this has always been said about you, and this is what's happening. And this is this is the political correctness, not so much the things that you might express on the political issues, but becoming political in our spiritual belief and values of what we think about our own liberties for each other and for ourselves. And just wanted to take a little note and say, so much love to all of you. Thanks. You're so significant, the most significant thing in God's eye.